Okay, so the downside and reaccumulation phase that we spoke of on Friday looks to be starting now. Let's go ahead and go over the potentials for the coming sessions. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by. Once again, this is ARCa coming at you with a GTII technicals and raw price action thread of analysis on this happy Monday. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCa Bulls. With that said, let's dive right into the chart. Okay, you guys, so yes, please take a look at the bi-weekly close here that we were looking for, right? This is a bearish engulfing candle structure, right? It usually happens when the forward candle actually engulfs the body of the green candle prior to it, right? So this is usually a bearish signal. Please notice right over here, right? So these two candles also ended up printing a bearish engulfing, of which we did, and we are now getting a downside from it as well. Okay, so I would actually just have to, keep an eye on things like this, right? So please notice here that this was a bullish engulfing here, and we definitely got that upside from it. All right, so it is looking like GTII is respecting some of this candle analysis. Please notice right down here, this is a bullish engulfing right over here. Right before we got that massive upside continuation to about $9. So yeah, it looks to be respecting its bullish engulfing structures, right? So this is what's happening. There isn't a price objective for this candle formation, right? So only because it happens, we can't tell where it's going to go. We have to we have to use our own discretion and our own charting skills to determine those possibilities, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at the Gaussian channel. Not on the bi-weekly here, but it is terrible that we're below the mean band here, right? At 135 is where that mean band is located. So I actually want to look at this in another time frame, okay? And it would be pertinent to, I believe, the 3-day time frame, of which it has a target of around. I don't want to. Okay, let's just go ahead and take a look at this, okay? This formation, this is a right angle triangle, right? So the right angle triangle or descending triangle is usually a bullish formation, but it's a bullish formation when it is formed after a downside, right? So in this case, it's being formed after an upside. Okay, so traditionally, this formation is a bearish formation, right? So one of the price objectives that we can actually gather from this, it would be in respects to the area of breakout, right? So let's just say that we were to break out to the downside from this point here. We can act from this 2-day iteration, which, by the way, this bi-daily candle here is going to be finished in about 19 hours and 37 minutes, right? So let's just say that we were to break out on the next bi-daily candle iteration right around here. So if you can notice, the target at the downside here is leading to about 80 cents, right? And it's just the upside of the 3-spot 272. So the reason why I'm mentioning this, it's very curious that this 3-day Gaussian channel, the very bottom of the channel, is located at about 80.95. So we have some confluence there, and it looks to be a pretty respectable area considering some support touches, right? So I'm not saying that we're going there. I'm just saying that there is rhyming, and there are several areas to kind of look at here for serious support, right? So for example, yeah, it would come in just kind of just over the 2-spot 272 in an inverse manner. Right, so let's go ahead and continue on the analysis and see what else we have to show. Okay, so this is that chop zone that we were talking about, right, you guys? So, I mean, we also spoke about that 108. We spoke about 108 on Friday. We said we could get a pretty nice bounce to the upside, and we definitely did, right? But every momentum average has been flashed to the downside, and in fact, the trend itself is leading to a downside. But please remember that this is, in essence, a reaccumulation period. So if we were to look at this, target here, right? So please remember that there are 3 ways to to trade this triangle, right? This is the breakout point trading objective, right? There's also the center, and then there's also the top side of the hypotenuse all the way down to the bottom of the triangle, right? There's several ways to look at this. What I'm trying to say here is that if we were to face that downside to about that 80.33, I would like to express how much this is probably not gonna stay there, and how much is probably not gonna last. Looking at the space between, I'd say 74.13 at the 3 spot 272 and about 80 cents, in accordance to the triangle price objective based on the breakout objective, right? So yeah, what I'm trying to say is that if we touch the area of about 70 cents, that's likely not going to be there for long. The price action will likely not be there for long. And I say it because of this, right? So please notice right down here that we got a 70-cent touch and we had an explosive move to the upside, right? So please notice right over here as well, this candle has has an opening of 160 of 69 cents, right? So just about that 70-cent zone, and it had a huge explosive move to the upside. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to get at here, is that there is kind of a risk to the shorts if we do touch down. Literally, you know what? I can adjust this target entirely, right? I would adjust it just like this, and it would be around this target here if we do decide to reach that low. If the sentiment feels like we could reach this low and then reaccumulate here for just an explosive move to the upside, then yeah, it's definitely possible, right? So we can have a drop within this area here, and whoever catches it, but whoever doesn't, you missed out, right? But there's a huge sentiment behind GTII, and I really don't think that the bulls are ready to let go of this, especially since it is fighting for market equality and market transparency, right? So there is a very large community here. Really don't think this can reach much lower than about the 70-cent zone. But the huge rejection that we got from the 109 to literally 120, that's an 11-cent jump. You know, that's a huge jump to the upside. So if there could be any type of saving grace right here, guys, it would probably just be the triangle itself. If the price action does continue to the upside, we have a resistance at about 148. I wouldn't trust this. I wouldn't trust the upsides too much within this area of this triangle, because usually as we approach the 65 to 70% of the completion, or to the apex of the triangle, we tend to get a breakout, right? So that's on average, right? Typically, that's the way it kind of works out. So let's go ahead and touch on with the RSI, and this will be the last part of the analysis here, you guys. So please notice on the RSI that we have the immediate short-term time frame, 30 minutes, suggesting a continuation to the downside, pretty much nosediving. We also have the 4-hour time frame entering the oversold percentile here. Please notice here that the 8-hour is also facing that downside. We have the daily time frame suggesting that downside as well, even with the 3-day and the 5-day. Okay, you guys. So there is some downside to consider here. Okay, so please remember that usually these downsides tend to happen for reaccumulation purposes, right? So I mean, it would be only understandable for the asset to make a drop like this after moving like 400% to the upside. You know, it does have to take a break at one point, right? So right now, the break that it's taking, it's still within the bounds of a critical support, right? I said 108. We touched that 109. So that support level may take a little bit of time to penetrate if it is that, you know, the short sellers don't get to it first, or don't get to it too fast, right? But yeah, you now know the reaccumulation targets, right? Within those targets, man, there could be a serious explosion to the upside. In fact, I almost feel like encouraging it for it to reach down here, because this thing will probably flash just the way this did here, right? So, or this one here, it was barely a touch, and then click, we just immediately launched to the upside. Huge FOMO, right? So this target has that kind of potential, guys. So please be very careful with how we trade this asset, right? So this one in particular here, this candle here retraced, let's see, has an opening of about 67 cents. So very close to that 70-cent target. Even still, this target right over here has a low of 75 cents. So 75 cents, very close to that 70 as well. Huge parabolic move to the upside. So yeah, I'm telling you guys, there's a lot to kind of look into within this zone, as it could pose a pretty deadly threat to the shorts, right, guys? Please remember first and foremost that I am not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy or sell any assets whatsoever. Okay, you guys, I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be cool. But with that said, you guys, I wish you well, a very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.